The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Well, hello everyone. I want to thank you all for being here. This is Brian Sachs, and I really do appreciate your confidence. I know how busy everyone is, and I know how important your time is, and I truly respect that. If you could just put in the chat box that you can hear me okay and that you can see the screen okay, that way we'll be able to move forward. It looks like lots of people are still piling in here, and it looks like we're going to have a full class. So awesome. So thank you all so much. And we're going to jump right into it because I know you're all here to learn. I know you're all here to discover a way to increase your production, better your life, increase your closings, and do it all without begging or kissing butt or spending a fortune on things that just simply don't work. So you're in for a treat. I'm going to share with you the secret method that produces a consistent flow of new buyers already sold on using you before they even meet you. And again, I'm not making any income claims. I'm going to share with you my story, how I discovered this, and I'm actually going to give you the formula. So here you go. On our next slide, and by the way, if you haven't downloaded your handout yet, this is really a training where you're going to want to take a lot of notes. So you want to go to rentersintoloans.com/handout, and I believe I've put that in the chat box as well. So this is a formula that can increase your closings by 37% or more consistently, and the key word here is consistently. This is the secret formula, and we're going to break down every component of this formula on the training. So I'm going to give you a minute here to write it down. It really did change my business. And again, I'm not making income claims here. I'm not promising you anything. I'm just sharing with you what I know works so that you can start using it in your business as well. So again, if you haven't downloaded the handout, go ahead and do so. I want to also make sure that you're not wasting your time. So you will know that you're in the right place on this training if you know that refis will stop. And how appropriate is that comment? And you need purchase business, but you're just really not sure how to go about getting it. If you just can't bring yourself to chasing realtors, and you really don't find that many that are loyal anyway. You don't want to be one of the 3 cards they hand out. You don't want to be chasing them. You don't want to be, as I travel around the country speaking, I find loan officers telling me they'd rather have a root canal without anesthesia than work with realtors. Well, guess what? That's an enormous mistake because realtors still account for over 70% of all the transactions. So you don't want to ignore them, but you don't want to be running around chasing and kissing their butt and begging because that doesn't work either. You're also in the right place if you know you want a consistent way to produce new loans, but you can't seem to find any that work as promised. There's so many people out there offering us advice, offering us ideas, offering us all sorts of programs. And the reality is that maybe some of them work, but I'm going to show you if they haven't worked for you, why they're not working for you. And it's a very subtle little shift in your business that will make all the difference in the world to you. Maybe you dream of having agents chase you, but you think it's just a dream and it really couldn't ever happen. So tell me if this makes sense. Are you tired of begging? Type it in the chat box. Begging for business. I used to be a professional donut and rate sheet hander outer. I was better than anybody. What if you're just tired of lunches with agents you just can't stand? Paying expensive marketing fees. No more wondering where your next deal will come from or going to offices and getting turned away. And you all know the agents aren't there anyway, right? So anybody relate to any of these things? Type in the chat box. I'd like to make sure everybody's in the right place. So, the difference here is between these two people. One hoping things will change and one knowing things will change. So thank you all for your comments. I see that many of you are having the same challenges. And I'll tell you my story. It'll all make sense to you in a very short period of time. But Here's my personal promise to you, because the one thing you're never going to get back is the time we spend today together on this training. So stay on the webinar, and if you don't get one big idea that you can use immediately, send me an email to loanofficertips@gmail.com, loanofficertips@gmail.com, and I will personally send a check for $25 in your name to the charity of your choice. So there are the ground rules. If you don't get one big idea, we're going to do something good together. You know, I spent a lot of time trying to find this graphic that you see on the next screen. You know, imagine what your day would be like if you no longer had to wake up and figure out where your next deal was going to come from. We all go through these like major highs and lows in good moods and bad moods because we really don't know every day where our next deal is going to come from. So, you know, let's change that whole dynamic. And that's what I'm going to share with you on the training. So I'm also going to have some special bonuses for you at the end. Again, if you have not gotten your handout, go to rentersintoloans.com/handout. And again, I'm going to go through each and every piece of this model for you, of this secret formula, and I'm going to share with you that formula for getting realtors to chase you. There it is again at the bottom. TM plus OPEC plus ASM plus SRFU equals CFNB plus RR plus dollars, and really plus a great life. So I'm going to show you how to have a steady stream of new buyers each and every month. You know, there's nothing better than predictable income. And I'm going to show you how to use something I call sales robots to put your follow-up on autopilot. Because let's be honest, we all stink at follow-up. We really do. And follow-up is one of the easiest ways to really grow your production. But who has time? You know, you bring in a bunch of loans, and then you focus on getting those loans closed, and then you got no loans, and then you go back into like gathering mode, like that caveman we just showed, and it's like a vicious cycle. So, you know, you want to stop that, and we want to put all of this on autopilot. So look here, I know we all have ADHD and so forth. I do too. But if you really want to make the most of this training, turn off LinkedIn, close out Facebook, turn off your cell phone. Nobody, God forbid, will die at an application, you know, or a closing table in the next 30, 45 minutes. Focus on this so that you have a tool that really will help you grow your production. Get rid of those distractions for a little while. So the first lesson, you know, many of you know me. Who I'm just curious, who in here is a member of one of my systems or used to be a member of Loan Officer Success or has heard me speak? Type in the box. I'm just curious who's here and who may know my story. I'm going to share it with you. But here's really the first lesson. The first lesson is, has this person accomplished what you want to accomplish? Are they earning what you want to earn? Why would you listen to somebody making 50,000 if you want to earn 100,000? Do they do it or do they teach it? Okay. So there's a lot of people out there that did it a long time ago, but you know, hey, things have changed. We don't need to, we all know that, right? Things have changed dramatically in our industry. Do they guarantee it? Well, heck, I just guaranteed a free training session for you. The ultimate shortcut really is to find a mentor. You know, you don't ever want to be the pioneer with the arrows in your back. You want to have a mentor who's done it, does it well, does it now, knows what they're doing, and can sort of give it to you. You may have seen my articles in NMP. I actually have a great show on Mortgage News Network called Top Originator Secrets, sponsored by Homebridge Financial, which is the company I'm working for, which is an awesome company. You've seen me in Campus MBA, Scotsman's Guide, Origination News. I've also been on NBC, CBS, ABC. I'm not telling you this to brag because you're shortly going to hear my story, but it is important that you know who you're listening to. That's really critical because if you listen to the wrong people, you're going to go off onto a goose chase and spend a whole bunch of money and a whole bunch of time and not get what you need. So just to give you a little bit of a background, I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but I grew up fairly lower middle class. I started working at 14, barely graduated high school. College was not for me. I got into real estate when I was about 19 or 20 years old, and I became a realtor. And here's a tip for you right away, by the way. You should all take a real estate course. I don't care if you're a seasoned mortgage pro in the business as long as I've been for 30 years. You ought to still take a real estate course. Doesn't mean that you have to pass the test or take the exam or anything else. But it's also always good to know sort of how the realtors are viewing this and what experiences they're having and what they know. I got into the mortgage industry and, then I got into information marketing. And I learned what I'm sharing with you 30 years in the mortgage industry this year, 15 years just handing out rate sheets and donuts and begging. And then I realized it couldn't be about price. And I discovered something called direct response marketing. I went on to build and sell 4 businesses for over 7 figures in 3 years. And I'm not telling you that to brag either, because there's a PS. Many of you may remember me, Loan Officer Success. I've done some national infomercials. But here's what happened. In 2009, that information business that I sold went bankrupt. And I took the financing. So there you go. I had another multi-million-dollar business that wound up in court in a lawsuit, me suing the other person for trying to steal the business. I had to reinvent quickly and efficiently without a whole lot of money, without any technical knowledge. And, I came right back into this business. And, I told you I've been in the business 30 years. Well, I met a lot of the agents when I was like 20 to 30, and they were 60 to 70, and now they're dead. And so coming back a couple years ago, this was like starting all over again for me without a lot of money, without the technical knowledge. And, what do you do? What do you do if you have no money and no time to waste? So you got to isolate what the problem can. By the way, can anybody relate to that? Every time I do a trading, I mean, I think we've all gone through that. We've gone through that as an industry. We've gone through that as a nation. And I'm going to tell you, if you don't reinvent, you just simply will disappear. So I'd love your interaction in the chat box because, I want to make sure we're all on the same page here. This is the problem right here with our industry. I call this the head of lettuce syndrome. And you've got 2 heads of lettuce, right? And so, you go to the supermarket, which head of lettuce should you buy? They're both the same head of lettuce. People view us as a commodity. And that's one of the big challenges in our business, right? It can never be about price. It can never be about good service because guess what? You'll never have the best price. And if you have the best price consistently, it's time to change companies because they won't be in business too long. And you will always have that one fatal deal, even if you give the best service in the world. We're only as good as our last transaction, right? So here's some secrets. The big secret, there's really 2. Number 1, what really, really, really stinks in our business is that other people control our income. Would you agree? Please type yes or no in the chat box. The market controls our income. Other realtors control our income. Our referral sources control our income, right? And guess what? I hope you don't have little kids around, but that sucks, okay? And we got to change that. And here's another big secret, which it really is obvious once you think about it. Once you have buyers pre-approved, you can then refer them to agents. It can't be about good rates and good service because everybody's got good rates and service. So everybody let out a big duh, right? It's a big duh, but you know what? Nobody is showing you this, are they? Everybody's got it a little twisted and a little backwards. So your income and production isn't what you want it to be, and it's not your fault. Okay? I want you to understand that. It's not your fault because here's what's being shown to us. The problem we have is we don't control our income. We have agents that refer us, or attorneys, or accountants, or all these other referral sources, but we're not out there hunting. And I'm going to show you a really cool way to hunt. But I mean, maybe you've tried sponsoring open houses and doing spreadsheets, doing joint advertising on Zillow and Trulia, and you got to be available like literally every second of every day so you don't miss a lead, right? providing single address websites, doing broker teaching sessions, visiting open houses, doing pay-per-click and social media, paying desk rental fees. I mean, MSAs, we know they're in trouble, right? But I mean, how's that working out for you? Type it in the box. Is that working out well for you? I did all these things, see, and it didn't work out well for me. So it doesn't work out well. You're right, Bob. Give me some love here, folks. I want to know that you're with me. These things might work if you're really, really, really going to work your butt off, but in general, they're tough. They don't really work. It's all about who's chasing who, right? Every relationship is about who's chasing who. So look at this. Realtors want one thing and one thing only. You know what they want? They want to sell more homes. Duh, right? Having good rates and providing good service is expected. It's not a unique selling proposition. When you go up to a realtor and you tell her, oh, I have great rates and we have group programs and we give good service, and you know what the realtor hears? Blah, 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 blah. They don't want to hear it because the next 38 loan officers that are coming to meet with them are going to tell them exactly the same thing. You, my friends, my peers, have to control the buyer. That's why I'm telling you it's not your fault. I don't know if any of you know who Jim Rohn is. He's since passed away. I had the privilege of meeting him on several occasions, but really a success guru and a marketing guru. And he said, if you want to be successful, look around at what everyone else is doing and do the complete opposite. So what is everyone else teaching you to do? Well, everyone is showing you how to go online and use social media, right? Everyone's showing you how to do Google ads. Everyone's showing you how to get leads on Facebook. I'm not saying it doesn't work. Of course it works. And I do it as well. But everybody's teaching you to go this way online. And remember what Jim Rohn just said, that if you want to be successful, look at what everybody's doing and do the complete opposite. Well, guess what? Look at what two of the largest online companies in the world are doing. These are online companies, Google and Facebook, the two largest in the world, are actually doing direct mail. Isn't that interesting? These are all things that I've gotten in the mail over the last couple months, asking me to advertise online. But they sent it to me by mail, right? And everybody thinks mail. Just type in the box if you think direct mail doesn't work. I'm just curious. If it doesn't work, I'm going to share with you why it doesn't work. Okay, so some of you are saying it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Well, guess what? Direct mail does work. And the reason it may not work for you are for these three big reasons. Number one, you're sending it to the wrong people. Number two, you may be sending it only once. And number three, you may have the wrong call to action. Does this make sense? I'm going to break each one of them down for you. So what do I mean by sending it to the wrong people? There are ways of sending to targeted people, not just anyone, but very, very targeted people. You know, we all sometimes, I hear complaints all the time about loan officers. I don't like dealing with these clients and blah, blah, blah. Well, why are you inviting them to call you? Only market to people you want to call. So here's a big writer downer for you. If you live in an area where the average sales price is $250, right? Market to people who are currently paying rent at $1,500 a month. Does that make sense? You know that they can afford the rent because they're paying it, and that's the right person. They're renting. They could be buying and owning a home for less than they're currently paying in rent. So the second part of this is, let's say you have a marketing budget of $1,000, okay? Or let's even grow it, 3,000. Well, what most people will do is send 3,000 pieces one time. But who in here is married? Type in the box if you're married. I'll bet you the majority of people on this training today are married. So let's see. I'll wait. Okay. So we got one person married. Who else? So we got one that's unfortunately married. Married. Okay. So the majority of people are married. But if you're married or you've ever been married, think about it. Did you ever get married on the first date? The only person that I know that ever got married on the first date is Britney Spears. So if you have $3,000 to work with, instead of sending to 3,000 people, you are far better off mailing to 1,000 people 3 times. Okay, that's really, really one of the big mistakes people make with direct mail. So you're sending it to the wrong people, you're sending it only once. Again, nobody here is married on the first date. And this, I got to tell you, is shocking to me. Maybe it won't be shocking to you, but this is a funny graphic of how different people think about us as originators. The truth is, the general public, especially after the last 5, 6 years, they think that we are less moral, less honest, and less forthright than used car salespeople, lawyers, and even realtors. The public doesn't trust us. Of course not. They've been bombarded with, 8 or 9 years worth of bad press about how we did all these terrible things, right? So they don't trust us. So another reason direct mail might not work for you is it has the wrong call to action. What's the call to action that you put on there? Well, the call to action that you're probably putting on there is to call you. Well, they don't want to call you because they think you're a dirtbag, and there's no nice way to say it. They think we're not reputable. So they don't want to call us. Think about it. If you ever bought a car, I enjoy negotiating, so I love buying cars. But most people don't enjoy being hounded by a car salesperson. Nothing against a car salesperson, it's just the public's perception. So, does this all make sense to you so far? Because I'm going to now get into the nitty gritty of the system so that you know what the issues are, you know exactly how to implement this. So now we know why direct mail doesn't work. Let me show you something very elegant. For those of you that are just joining us, let's break down the formula again. TM plus OPEC plus ASM plus SRFU equals CFNB plus RR plus dollars, plus a great business, plus a great life, plus a time to enjoy life and de-stress. So let's break down the first piece. So TM stands for targeted marketing. You want to send to people who are currently renting for the approximately the same amount that they are currently paying in rent. You want to send it, and I want to be clear here. I don't suggest sending it to just anybody who rents. I want you to build a list that you can mail to month after month after month. So you want to find a complex that has apartments, maybe, I'm talking about a big complex, maybe 3, 4, 500 units, and you should probably get about 2 or 3 of these complexes because now you'll have an evergreen database. You want them to be within 5 or 10 miles of your office, and that way that database is never going to change. You will always have those addresses in there. And you want to send them postcards, letters, and a special report. And I'll go through all this. When? If your budget allows, once a month. I mean, a postcard in the mail is 50 cents. So think about what you earn on one loan. Could you get one $200,000 loan? If you're making 50 basis points, you'd make $1,000, right? So at a minimum, you could do it once every other month. But if you're not going to do it at least once a month or once every other month, you're kind of wasting your time. Last week, you want to do it, I do it the last week of the month so that it arrives on a Friday or Saturday. Why? Because Friday, Saturday, people are having time to digest things. Monday, they're thinking about work. Tuesday, they're thinking about work. Wednesday, they're thinking about the weekend. Thursday's not a terrible day, but Friday, Saturday is really the best. And again, you want to send at least 3 to 4 per year. Better if every month, better if every other month. What you want to do, again, is create this evergreen database. And here's some of the postcards that you could send them. Here's one for Veterans Day. Here's one, think about the reason people rent, by the way. Do you know the reason people rent? Most people are renting for one of 4 or 5 reasons. They're renting because they don't have enough cash to put down. They're renting because They think they can't afford a mortgage payment. They're renting because they have some credit issues, or they're renting because they're new in town. Each one of these postcards should address one of their issues. And the beauty here, as I keep mentioning to you, is every postcard they get builds on the next one, and the next one, and the next one. So finally, when they're ready, you are absolutely top of mind. You know what it says in marketing circles, takes 5 to 7 touches. And this is a postcard that I call my $1,000,000 postcard. And I've literally been using this for 20 some years. And many of my students and members and consulting clients have literally mailed millions of these over the years. The color is really, really important. The offer, as I told you, is really, really important. And the options for them to respond are really important, because remember what I just said. The last thing they want to do is call you. And that's good, because we don't want them to call, as I'm going to explain to you in a minute. So let's move on to the next part, OPEC, and that is opt-in email capture. You do not want to send them. This is a copy of my webpage. So guess what they're able to do on this webpage? They can only do one of two things. Type in the box what you think they can do here. I'm offering them a free report called Renter Secrets, How to Stop Renting. What do you think they can do? They only have two choices. You do not want to put this on your website. That's right, Tom. Tom got it right. You can sign up or leave. Right, subscribe or leave. See, what happens is when you give people too many choices, they do nothing. Here, they're either opting in or they're leaving. There's nothing, no distractions. There's no links taking them anywhere. All they could do is get it or not get it. They can share it, to be fair, because we get a lot of people sharing this page, and I think that's a great thing. But don't distract them. You don't want it to be, a link on your web page, and you don't want to make it all fancy. But trust me, my wife will tell you, ugly works. Okay, ugly's good. So OPEC is opt-in email. They're going to opt in here. They're going to give us their name and their email address, and in return, they're going to get a book. But think about what we do. I don't know if you've seen the movie Groundhog Day, but it's where they wake up Bill Murray and every day is exactly the same day. Well, that's exactly how we are. Every time we get a phone call, we have to go through the same routine, tell them how wonderful we are, tell them why they should use us, tell them all about us. Well, guess what? There are ways of automating this process so that you don't have to do it, so that when a buyer calls you, they're already sold on using you because they've already heard your sales message. How cool is that? I mean, how many people would really love that? The buyer's calling you, never spoken to you before, but they already know all about you. It's almost as good as a referral. Referral is better, okay? But this is almost as good as a referral, and it works beautifully. So ASM is automated sales message. So now we've mailed to a targeted market. We've got them to opt in, and they've heard an automated sales message. So let's dig a little deeper. This is a book called Renter Secrets, and this is how you get them sold on using you before they even speak to you, okay? And here's how you want to set this up. You want to set it up by telling them who you are. You want to share some information with them about mistakes they could avoid if they went elsewhere. You should address their concerns or fears. You should tell them what to, and by the way, it's not a very lengthy book. It's only like 20 pages. You should tell them what to do next. And this is really important. You got to be very specific with people. And my call to action and your call to action should be call us for a free, no obligation consultation. Tell them how the process works and then prove it, because nobody believes us, right? Nobody believes anything we say, but they do believe what others like them say about us. So tell them how, other clients that have worked with you felt about you, and then have them engage with you. So here's some samples from the report. And as you can imagine, this is doing all the selling for you. You could be out to dinner, out at the movies. You could be at a child or grandchild's sports event. You could just be relaxing and not have to take that phone call. Please tell me if that makes sense to you and if you love it, because I got to tell you, I missed a lot of years of my kids growing up having to be available all the time. And this is one of the things I wanted to change. Not only did it change that, it generates more business for me. So it's a win-win. So let me know in the chat box. I really do want to make sure that everybody's with me and everybody's getting what they need. Um, so we got the TM, we got the OPEC. So thank you for your responses, by the way. We've got the ASM. Let's talk now about the SRFU. That's sales robot follow-up. And see, the problem is we don't follow up. We all agree that we stink. We all stink at follow-up. And, we're busy. I get it. But people don't want to hear from us, but we need to follow up with them. So here's a very elegant way of doing it. It's a way you can do it that you just set it and forget it. And so here's what happens. I have generated 12 months worth of what are called autoresponder follow-up emails. I did it once and it goes to everybody who opts in. There's a lot more that happens during the first 90 days. Remember, they've opted in, they've gotten the report, and when they've gotten the report, they're doing one of two things. Remember from the diagram, okay? They're either opting in, getting the report, calling us to schedule a free no obligation consultation after hearing the sales message, or they're not opting in, because that's the only two choices, okay? If they haven't called us for the consultation, well, guess what? We're following up with them on autopilot via email. And it's a very, very easy setup, and it's very, very elegant. So CFNB, this is the dream. It's when you're able to finally stop hoping and start knowing. It's a consistent flow of new business. If you're sending to the right people and you're sending to them consistently, they're opting in, they're being followed up with. Some are calling you, some are being followed up with, and will call you later. That is a beautiful system. And that's the way you take control and create the business and the life that you want. And here's really kind of where the rubber hits the road, the RR and the dollars, okay? The realtor relationships. You're going to take these pre-approved buyers, and guess what you're going to do? You're going to give them to realtors. And so what happens is these realtors, they become very loyal very quickly, don't they? That's the one thing they want. When you're able to call a realtor, and I'll tell you how I do it, I'll share this with you. Grab your pen. I call a realtor and I say, I have a problem. I need 5 minutes of your time. And they go, most of the time they say, okay. And I then meet with them and I say, here's my problem. My problem is I generate a consistent stream of pre-approved buyers who need a realtor. And I only have certain relationships, and I've heard wonderful things about you. Would you be interested in working with any of my pre-approved buyers? How many of them do you think say no? Right, none. None of them say no. They all say yes. And I say, what? I say, but here are some ground rules. The ground rules are, you ready? Write this down. The ground rules are, I will never question your fees. You never question mine. If you have a problem with me or I have a problem with you, we'll talk to each other. We will not involve the buyer. And I would like you to try me on your next deal. If we find we work well together, well, we can continue the relationship. If we find we don't work well together, we can leave as friends. Do you agree? See, you can never, ever assume. Let me know that that makes sense. So that's how you stop begging. You've got the one commodity that they want. And you now control the situation, right? Try this. Hey, you want to be one of the 3 realtors' names we give out? Shove it right back at them. So here we go. Not all realtors are the same. There are 3 types of realtors, 2 of which you have to avoid at all costs. And there's a picture of each one of them here. So don't just assume, How do you find these realtors? Well, here's 2 resources, HomeLight and Frankly.com. They will get, and you can always, of course, go to your title company. You could go, there's lots of places to find out who the good agents are. But there are 3 types. They're not all alike, and it's very, very important that you know that. So I want to stop here because I want to make sure that everybody has gotten at least one good idea so far. So please type in the box if you've gotten at least one good idea or more. Let me know how many good ideas, because I promise you, if you didn't get one big aha, that I would send that check to the charity of your choice. I want to make sure we're all on the same page. Did I fulfill my mission? Did everybody get at least one good idea? One idea you can implement to shift your business right away. So we got yes, 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 lots of good ideas. Got one. Good. Okay. Beautiful. So I've lived up to my mission. So I'm assuming you attended here for a couple different reasons. Maybe you want a consistent way to produce new loans, but you can't seem to find one that works as promised. You dream of having those agents chase you, but you think it's just a dream. You know refis are going to stop. You know that. We all know that. Okay. And you know you need purchase business, but you're not really sure what to do. You just can't bring yourself to chasing those realtors and having those lunches. So the big question you might have right now is, okay, this is all great, Brian. You've shown me all the pieces to the puzzle. You've shown me a systematic way of generating new business, but what do I do to get this up and running quickly so I can start closing more, making more, and finally get to enjoy life? So you have a couple choices here. You can do what I did, and that's perfectly acceptable. Okay? Nothing wrong with it. It's a little complicated, it could be confusing, and it could be costly, but that's what I did. I had to go out, spend the money, spend the hours, and test it and figure it out, perfect it, tweak it, and make it work. Or you could do it the simple way, which is what I would have preferred to do, but nobody ever showed this to me. And, I'm sure no one's really ever shown this to you. How about a copy and paste way that's already tested? You know it works. You know what you're seeing is live. You know it wasn't from 20 years ago. It's what I'm still using this to absolutely till today. Still using each and every day. I originate in the field just like you. No different. Okay. This is a picture of a copy and paste toy that I loved as a kid. Maybe some of you may relate to it. I couldn't draw. I have no creativity at all, but I could fill in numbers, and I love that and make a masterpiece. So look, the definition of insanity is doing the same things over and over again and hoping things are going to be different. That's ridiculous. So I want to introduce you to a system I call renters into loans, and the name kind of says it all. If you really want to grow your production and finally control your income, and controlling your income, not having to be that caveman who wakes up every morning wondering and hoping and praying, and I mean, it really is a beautiful system when you know that you can wake up and there's business coming in consistently. This is really for ethical loan officers looking to get an edge over your competition. For originators who've tried chasing business and working on weekends and not earning what you know you're worth. Originators looking to finally have a predictable and consistent income stream regardless of rates. And rates are going up, don't know what to do about it. But some of you may be on here that fit into one of these criteria. And if you are, I'm going to implore you not to join. Maybe you're thinking of leaving into the business, and maybe this actually could change your mind. You're looking to just swipe ideas and then ask for a refund. Don't waste your time. Don't waste my time. You don't view your job as a professional. You're just looking to make a quick buck. You're looking for a magical pill where you can just sit on your sofa, think good things, and money will appear. Well, this system actually requires you to do something. So if you're interested in really the step-by-step formula, go to rentersintoloans.com/now. Because you know what? It is now. Now is the time for you to change your business. And I'm going to tell you how I set this up for you. In the members area, you will see a video. So you're going to learn what to do. You're going to then have the PDFs and resources so that you can simply copy and paste and do it. And then you're going to have access to me. One of the things I absolutely hate when I am investing in a system is being in a situation where I have a question or a concern and nobody's there for me to answer the questions, or they want to put their hand in my pocket to answer a question when I've already joined the system. I hate that. So let me share with you, as I told you, nobody believes what you say. Nobody probably believes what I say. but people do believe what others say about us. So here's some other originators from around the country who've experienced some of my some success stories with what I've taught them to do. Mark Savage from Long Island, New York. Brian's completely changed my life by about 40,000 per month, and he used to be one of my platinum coaching members. Brian Saviano in Chicago, Illinois. By not listening to Brian, I wasted thousands of dollars. Leon Wilkowski right here in Maryland made over 100,000 per year just from one of my strategies. Karen Robinson in Detroit, Michigan. She thought about not doing it, but it was clearly worth the investment. Cameron Moss in Indiana. We can go on and on. Here's a gentleman in New Jersey, and he was also a platinum member of mine. Slashed his marketing expense by 90%, but more importantly, he now has a great personal life, and we all want that. So here's what you're going to get broken down. In Module 1, I'm going to show you who to mail to, when to mail to them. I'm going to go over the system overview that produces this flow of new clients so we know that you know how to do this. And then I'm going to show you the 3 items that get these buyers sold on using you before they even call you. And that's a beautiful, beautiful situation. In Module 2, we're going to go over the secret resources that allows you to find these buyers without paying a list broker or driving around. There is no need for you to ever spend a nickel with a list broker. I hope you all hear me. There is no need for you to ever buy lists from a list broker. And I'm going to give you 14 copy and paste templates that work now. I'm going to share with you that secret color scheme that immediately increases response. I'll give you a hint. This is something that McDonald's uses very, very well. So here's a layout of some of these cards. Again, they'll all be in a copy and paste format, so you can get going with them right away. Creating your customer capture page, 3 ways to immediately increase your response. And maybe you're not technical. I'm not technical, So I'm going to give you some resources that will set up your pages for you. Guess what? One of those resources will do it for $5. $5. And then I'm going to show you how to gain instant credibility with your prospects, even if you think you can't. In Module 3, we're going to talk about the sales robot so you can automatically get your prospects sold on you, the tool that automates your follow-up, and I'll share all of these resources with you. That tool that automates your follow-up, you can get it done for less than $20 a month. And we're going to show you how to have instant credibility with buyers so they never, ever ask about your rates. I hate rate shoppers. I know you do too. Let's get rid of them. There's a way of doing it. And then we're going to create our follow-ups in a set it and forget it format. This is the one area, honestly, that impacts your success more than any other area. It's the one area we all stink at. And you will have access to my full 12-month automated follow-up system that you can just use and modify. And maybe some of you are wondering, well, what about compliance and what about this? Everything here you can run by your compliance departments. Everything's able to be edited. Everything's able to be customized. You have all the tools. And then we talked about realtors, right? Because the most important thing you can do is give these pre-approved buyers to realtors and get them giving you business and being beholden to you, right? Well, I'm going to show you which realtors you need to work on, which realtors you should avoid like the plague. And then I'm going to go very deep into showing you how to find them. And then I'm going to give you a script to use so that you make sure you never assume. ASSUME. I don't need to spell that out for you, right? This is not a CRM. I want to be very, very clear with you. This is not a CRM. I believe in CRMs. This is its own unique system for one purpose and one purpose only. Okay? And then we're going to put it all together, how to get your systems up, and a done for you option. Maybe some of you don't even want to deal with it. So I'm going to give you a done for you option. But I didn't stop there, okay? I'm actually going to give you some bonuses. I believe that you should be doing seminars and webinars for first-time buyers. And you could even be doing these with realtor partners. I'm going to give you my presentation, but I'm not just going to give you my presentation. I'm actually even going to give you a transcript of me delivering the presentation and a recording of me doing the presentation for you so that you can just model it. I'm going to give you some ads that I've used, some email invites, everything in a done for you format. You know, I live in Baltimore, and in the winter, this winter, and last winter, I experimented with doing these as webinars and driving Facebook traffic to these people. You could also drive them via postcard to the webinar, but you're going to have it all done for you right here. And I'm even going to go a step further. If you are truly serious about implementing the system, you choose two complexes after you've been in the system, the rentersintoloans.com, again, /now. But if you're in the system, I will provide you with two apartment complexes. All you need to do is tell me the complex, tell me how the units are laid out, and give me a link to their website, and I will have our staff put it together for you in an Excel format. Now, you'll have to check it for accuracy, but this is a beautiful way for you to really get going. I want to make sure you get going. That's why I'm giving you this as a bonus. Bonus number 4, I got to tell you, and I don't mean to sound like I'm egotistical, but bonus number 4 is kind of priceless. I will give you in the members area a one-on-one session with me personally, because I want to make sure if you get stuck, I'm here to help you. So you will have access to a one-on-one session with me. I charge $250 for a half-hour session, and it's well worth it. But I'm not going to charge you anything because you're going to be a member of the system. And here I'm going to give you 3 bonus. You're going to have the report here, but I'm going to give you 2 additional bonus reports and the golden postcard, which I call the magical golden postcard. So there you have it. I am in the business originating just like you. And so I will give you lifetime upgrades. Once you're a member, you never pay another penny, okay? If I'm experimenting with something and it works, I'm going to share it with you. So remember, you're going to have video training that breaks it all down for you so it makes sense. You're going to have the tools to copy and paste and implement it, and you're going to have me right by your side. So again, go to rentersintoloans.com /now. But think about this. So, you know, it all has to be about your return on your investment, right? Does that make sense? So how much is a system worth that can produce loans for you each and every month consistently? Use these loans to start new relationships and cement current ones. I mean, think about it. If you just got 3 $200,000 loans and you're earning 100 basis points, that's $6,000. Plus 3 new realtor relationships that'll also be sending you deals. And I'm not making any income claims here. You might make nothing. But, you know, if you're mailing and following the system, you will get hopefully some really solid buyers that you can now use as leverage to agents. And imagine what your life will be like. Imagine what your business is like. You don't have to go hunting. You don't have to go begging for business. You never have to hear, oh, what's your rate? Or I'm checking rates with 3 other lenders. Or I give out 3 lenders cards. Bull crap with that. You'll never have to hear that again. Have a predictable and consistent business. How about one where you're respected by your peers? How about being respected by your family? You can take time off and not worry about what you're missing. So again, the Renters into Loans Gold System, it's available at rentersintoloans.com /now. Just a breakdown, if you were to get all of these individually, you're talking about $2,623 worth of content. 7 modules, 14 postcards. I mean, just to write the report, you would probably pay a good copywriter several $1,000s just to write the report for you. Okay, so go to rentersintoloans.com /now. I'm going to give you the opportunity to make a single investment of only $497. So I mean, here's the deal: can you get one loan from this? I would certainly hope so. Okay. Or if you want, spread your payment out over 60 days. Up to you. So you can start making money with the system before you even finish your investment. And I know that money is tight for many of you. I know that everybody should be watching your pennies. I know that some of you may even be skeptical, and I got to tell you, that's okay. I think it's actually good that you're skeptical because there's so much crap out there. So I'm going to give you something that really is kind of unheard of. I'm going to give you a full 30-day money back guarantee. Again, if you're just going to refund the system, and you're not going to give it a shot, don't even join. Don't waste your time. Don't waste my time. But if you're a serious originator looking for an edge and you're looking for something that actually works in the field today, I'm going to give you a 30-day, no questions asked, no hoops, no hassles, no nothing. But if you've tried it for 12 months, I'm going to give you a full 365-day, 12-month test drive because I know it works. I use it every day in my own business and I have members using it all the time. But I want to take away all the fear from you. And so you try it for a year. And listen to this. If you try it for a year and you're not succeeding, okay, I will give you double your money back. Just show me what you've done, and I'll either get on the phone and help you make it work, or I'll give you double your money back if you show me what you did. Can't be fairer than that. So you really have no risk. So you've got two options, folks. Go to rentersintoloans.com/now. And I see several of you have already joined, and I thank you and I welcome you. Bob and Joe and Sue and Lou and Betty, thank you for being members. I can't wait to hear your success stories. Rentersintoloans.com. Split it up over one investment or split it up over 60 days, one investment, half of it now, half in another 30 days, and you've got a full year to take it for a test drive. Here's what you're going to see when you go there. You're going to see the investment page, fill in your information right away, and then you're going to land in the members area, okay? And in the members area, you can see here is the welcome. Here are the trainings, the modules, everything under the module to actually implement, because it's all about implementation. And then I'm giving you a done for you option. If you want it done for you, that is separate, just to be fair. All the tools here for you to do it yourself. And then you have support, you have one-on-one. There are a ton of unannounced bonuses in here as well. So again, you want to go to rentersintoloans.com/now, NOW. I'm also going to give you those fast action, the magical gold postcard, and those 3 extra reports. And I really look forward to showing you how this model can absolutely change your life. It changed mine. I know it'll change yours. I'm going to stay on here for a little while and try to answer some of the questions that are coming in. So some of you are saying, do you have a payment plan? Yes, you can do 2 options of $277 or one investment of $497. Here's a question. I will be out of town. Will I get behind? No, you will never get behind because you will always have full access to the members area. What else do I need to be successful with this course? You really don't need anything else. Everything is really here in a step-by-step format. How do I know which program works for these buyers? Do they have to put down a lot? Well, look, the reality is you want to make sure, the key thing here is making sure that you are marketing to people where their rent is very close to your average sales price. One question here, do you give me a list? No, I don't give you a list. I don't know people here from all over the country and actually see some folks here from Canada and Australia. So you want to be in a scenario where you pick the complexes, do a little bit of legwork. You can go to Renter, and I show you actually in the system where you can find out more about complexes if you don't want to get in your car. But find 2 complexes that have 300, 400, 500 units. Show me how they're laid out, and we'll put the list together for you. What other questions do we have? Do you have a guarantee? Yes, you have a guarantee, 30 days, and then you have a full 12-month guarantee. One of the questions, do you offer another program recently to help credit challenged people? Yes, that's called the Boomerang Expert System. That is different than this system, although some of the people here will be credit challenged, and actually one of those bonus reports that I mentioned earlier is specifically for credit challenged buyers. Do you send out the postcards and print them for me? No, we do not. but I show you how to get them done and in the mail very inexpensively for less than 50 cents a piece. Um, so, look, the reality here is this is again, a very systematic way. Uh, if you have fears about compliance, well, everything here is in a copy paste format that you can run by your own compliance department. Um, and I can't imagine there be any issues, but if there are, everything here is editable. If there's a problem with it, there is no law. CFPB hasn't come out with a law yet that I'm aware of that says you can't tell renters to call you to get pre-approved. Or visit a website. So, I know we're all very paranoid. I know that. But this does work. And again, you can customize this. I hope you see that the two biggest companies in the world are doing direct mail. It's really critical to your success. And more importantly, who controls the buyer says who controls the income. If you are on the Boomerang, yeah, it should say renters into loans. Somehow on that page, you should be on this page right now. If you were ordering, I'm going to go back and show it to you. Um, it does say Boomerang Expert here. That is incorrect. But if you look at the box, you see that it does say renters into loans right here. You'll know you're in the right spot if it's renters into loans right here. So I see another group of you have just joined, and I thank you. You'll see this actually as well. Renters into Loans Gold membership. So it's rentersintoloans.com/now. You'll have the option of two investments or one single investment. Again, I'm giving you lifetime upgrades. More importantly, you can take it for a test drive for more than a year. Have you seen anybody ever give a double your money back refund? This, folks, these trainings aren't changing my life. Well, I'm sharing these with you. And you might be wondering, well, Brian, if this works so well, why would you even share it with us? Well, guess what? I only want to do 15 to 20 loans a month in 4 zip codes in Baltimore. You can go anywhere else and use this. And I don't even care if you're in Baltimore, because in my 4 zip codes, there's about 150 to 200 transactions being done regularly. I want 10 or 15. You can have the rest. Folks, that's very limited thinking. Think big. This works. It allows you to get your sales message out without you needing to constantly be on the phone. My wife used to call herself a mortgage widow, and she used to refer to me as a mortgage 7-Eleven, because I was literally on the phone all the time. And even though I was there with her and my kids, I really wasn't mentally there because I was on the phone. Imagine having robots doing all that heavy lifting for you. I mean, it's a beautiful situation. So I thank you all for being here. I hope you all learned something very, very valuable. I hope you'll join. And more importantly, I hope you'll take me up on, a one-on-one session with me. I hope you'll take me up on showing me what you're doing with these. I hope to hear your success story. So that will conclude our session. Thank you all. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the day, and I wish you all much success.